everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. I'm so happy to have you here today. In today's tutorial, we are going to learn how to make our own sublimation designs using Kittl. And as always, Kittl is offering you a wonderful coupon code to save 25% if you sign up with them using code CorinneYT. So it's Corinne YT like YouTube. That way you can save that 25% when you sign up. I think it's so great. I love using Kittl and I can't wait to show you how to do this. So we're gonna make two different types of designs. We're gonna use one of their templates and we're gonna make this design where we're gonna change up some of it to fit more of what we want it to look like and our aesthetic. And then we're also gonna make one from scratch using some of their elements and text and different things that you can do with the text to create these. They're really easy, it's really fun, and there is so much that you can do using Kittl. So be sure to check it out. I'll link it down below where you can sign up as well. I'll also link down below some of my favorite polyester blanks that you can use with sublimation, as well as all the materials that you need to do this. So without further ado, let's get started. I'm going to show you two different ways that we can use Kittl with sublimation because it's so fun. So you can go the super easy route, which is to use one of their templates. So I'm just going to search for Valentine because I want to make a Valentine's Day themed shirt, and I just think this would be a really fun way to do it. And this is so quick and easy. So what you'll see is it's going to bring up a bunch of different designs. So you can kind of scroll through and find one that you like. There are so many to choose from, so many different styles, and you can always search and be a little more specific if you want to. Like if you want Valentine's cats, you could search for this. There's so many things that you can search for to make and design and have fun with, but I think I want to use these ones right here, these hearts, and I'm going to show you why. So they currently say true love be mine and let's kiss. So let's go ahead and click on these, and it's going to open them up in an artboard so that we can edit them, change them, do whatever we want to them. Now, what's great about this is this can be in layers. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and close this section just because it, for whatever reason, bothers me when it's in the corner, but we may come back to it, add some stuff, we'll see. But the first thing that I like to do is, because I know I'm going to be doing this with sublimation, I'm going to open up my layers panel and I want to get rid of this background. So I'm going to go through and see all my layers. I've got some stars, the different text, I've got the different hearts. But what I'm looking for currently right now is the background and the marble texture. I'm going to hide both of those items, and that's going to help me visualize what this is going to look like on a shirt. Now, keep in mind that sublimation does not print white. So these stars here, we can either remove them or change the color. We'll come to those in a minute. But what I want to do is actually change the text because I like to do sassy hearts. I don't really like the conversation ones. So this one, I'm going to just change it, and I'm just going to select this font by double clicking on it, and then you can highlight it and change it to what you want it to say. So I'm going to have this one say, go away. Now you can make them say whatever you want, have them be whatever you want them to be. I think I want to make this pink one say bite me. I just think that would be funny. So I'm going to do bite me. And then I think I'm going to make this be mine one. I think this one, I just want it to say ew. So EWW. I think just two W's will do. Now, if I don't like that text, like that font style, I can absolutely change that as well. Select one of your fonts. So I have my U selected, and over here under the word text, you can click on this, and there are so many different styles of text that you can choose from. So you kind of can scroll through, select different fonts and see what they look like and see if any of them are more to the look that you want to go for. You can do whatever you want. You do not have to keep this the same. You can have fun with it. Put whatever style text you want on to it. It does not matter. It is all you and whatever you want to do. So I'm going to scroll through, see if I find any text that I like better than what's already on there, and then we can go from there. So I went through a ton of fonts, and honestly, I gotta say, I kind of like the font that it already was. So I'm just gonna leave that as is. But you can definitely change it. Now I am gonna make this a little smaller by using the tabs on the side because I want the U to be a little bit bigger since it's a smaller word than what was there originally. So I'm just gonna pull this out a little bit, and that way it will match up. Now I will say, I just noticed I don't have quite the same text here, so I'm just gonna double check which one I have, and I don't have the right one. So let me change this to HT Modern. And once you know what the name of the text is, you can easily find it. I think it's not that one. Maybe it is that one. There's a couple different versions of this font, so you have to find the right one. That's the right one, which is why it looked a little bit funny. So I'm going to go ahead, slide this back out, and resize this again. Now, when you're doing this, you're going to play with it. You're going to change the sizing. You're going to do everything you want to do to it. Oops, I didn't want to move that. So let's say I accidentally moved something that I don't want to do. That's okay. There are undo buttons down here at the bottom. So I accidentally grabbed the heart instead of the font, and so I'm going to just undo that. And then I'm just going to size my font back down a little bit to where I want it. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm just scooching this down on my heart a little bit. Now, let's address these little stars here because, like I said, they won't print because they're white. Now, we can change the color to anything that we want to. So we can go over here under where it says Illustration Colors. You can select your little star, and I can choose any color that I want. Now, there's colors that are already in your design right down here, but we want to do something a little different. I kind of want to go with like a grayish color, I think, maybe. I don't know that I want to go black because that seems kind of harsh against the design, but I also don't know that I want to go yellow since I already have a yellow colored design, but maybe we do like a blue. What if we did like a blue? Blue might be pretty. And you know, we could use the blue that was originally part of the background because that matched really well. So I like that blue. So let's do that. Now what we're going to need to do is we can select all of our stars. You can hold shift on your keyboard and select them all. And then you can just click on the selection colors and choose that color down here. I think that looks pretty cute. Like I said, we made it our own. We changed it up a little bit. And like I said, you can honestly change the colors of the hearts if you don't like them. If you want something that's going to be brighter, if you want something that's going to be whatever you want it to be, that's you. You choose it. You have fun with it. You can add elements to this if you want to as well. So if you wanted to add something, you click on elements, which is the circle and the square. And I'm just going to look up the word Valentine and just see what pops up and show you how to add something. But we're going to do some more like adding of things to another design that I'm going to show you how to do, which we're going to make another Valentine's Day design. But you can add any of these elements that you may want to this. So like, let's say you want to put like love up here. You can do that. We can like make this love, and then maybe we want to say love stinks. Let's look at stinks and see if anything comes up. Maybe they've got a word that'll match this. I make no promises, so you can add your own text to it if you want to. Whatever you want to do to this, you have fun with it. But I'm going to go ahead and delete that and just show you how to save this, and we'll go into the elements a little bit more detail here in just a minute. Now what I want to do is I'm going to click on the word download. Now for this, we are going to be using a PNG. Now, what's great about the PNG is it works so well for sublimation. Now, I'm going to just tell it to remove the background even though it's already gone, and I do want to optimize my quality. Then I'm simply going to click download, and I'm going to save this into my computer. I'm going to save this into the file folder that I use for Kittl, and I'm actually just going to leave it called Candy Hearts Valentine's Day, and then I'm simply going to click save. Now I'll open it really quick so you can see what it looks like, but we'll print it out in just a minute. We'll print them all at the same time, but you can see here we have no background, we've got the words that we changed, our little stars, and it's going to look really, really cute when this prints. Now, like I said, I'll show you how to print it in a minute, but I want to make our own design from scratch. I'm going to go back to the Kittl screen here, and I'm going to open up a brand new project. So what I'm going to do is click new project up here in the upper right hand section. It's going to leave all the other ones open. You can honestly close what you're not using anymore because you don't need them open. And then it's going to ask me to choose my artboard size. I'm just going to choose the standard size of our artboard. You don't have to choose anything too crazy. So then all I'm gonna do is, again, I wanna look under my elements and I'm gonna look for Valentine. Now again, if you have something specific you wanna put on here, you want a rose or you want hearts, you can search that as well. But I kind of thought I wanted to start with the word Valentine and just sort of see what we might find in here that we can build on. Now I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't have a plan in place on the design that I wanna make. So I'm just going to kind of see what we come up with. You're going to design along with me. Now I see a few things that I like, so I'm going to click on them and add them to my artboard. And from there I can kind of delete things that maybe aren't what I want to look for, or maybe I just don't like them once I see them bigger. So again, I'm just going to kind of scroll through and see what I find that I think might be cute, might be something I can build on. I really like this little happy heart. I don't think he's quite what I'm going for, but that's okay. So let me scroll through. I'm going to find a few fun little designs, and then we're going to move on and make something really fun out of them. I have an idea of what I want to do because I just found these adorable cherries and I just kind of think I can do a little play on words with those. So I found this box too, which I thought would be really fun, especially with sublimation because it's got some depth, but I just don't think it's what I'm going for. I also found this kind of coquette bow heart that I thought was really fun, but again, I think I like the cherries better. Of course, we have our cute little smiley heart guy, but again, cherries are still cuter. And then I found this heart in a box, and then I found this really super colorful like balloon heart thing. I don't know, but it was cute. But I think we're going to work with the cherries because I think that these are going to look really cool sublimated because they have so much shading and so much color variation that it's going to be a really perfect item to use with sublimation. Now for this item, I'm just going to kind of toss it on the screen. Anywhere is fine right now. And I think I'm going to do a play on words and it's going to say, I'm cherry cute. I know, cheesy, but I'm down for it. Now I'm going to look in their text, and what's cool about their text is they have these like pre-made decorative texts. They've got like vintage, titles, paragraphs, badges, paper letters, gradients. They've got title pairs, which are really fun. And I think I want to play with a title pair because I want it to say I'm in one font and then cherry in another and then cute in the same font as maybe cherry. I don't know, but we're going to play with these ones. So what I can do is I can click show all, and then I can use this little arrow here to bring it out so that I can see them a little bit better. Now they are still a little small, but we can work with that. It's not a big deal. We can totally see what we're looking for. So I'm going to kind of scroll through here and just see what I find that I think might work for the design that I want to do. Now you don't have to do the same design as I'm doing, but this is just to show you all of the different ways that you can work with Kittl to create this. Now, let's say that I see this one and I really like it. I'm going to click on it. This may not be the one we use, but I'm going to choose it here, click on it, and it will add it into my screen. So you can see here now it says it's got our little like design. So I can change my words by just double clicking just like I did before. So I can have that say I'm, and then I can do the bottom down here to say cute. And then this middle part can be cherry. I might have put too many R's in there. Nope, perfect. So now I've got this I'm cherry cute. And I can change colors on this, whatever I want to do. So let's say I just want to see what this looks like in like, I don't know, hot pink. I can do that. Now this is maybe not quite the design I would go for this type of a style, just because I don't think that it sits well together. I just don't think like that is a good set. But if I want to, let's say I want the cherries to like overlap a little bit, I can right click on these and I can go down to where it says forward, backward, to front, to back. I can choose to front and then I can like overlap it over the design if I want to do that. Like I said, not what I wanted to do, but I thought I'd look at that font anyways. So let's go ahead. We're going to go back to the fonts. I'm going to find one in this pairs that I like. And from there, we're going to go ahead and make our design. So give me a couple seconds to look and I'll let you know what we choose. I found this one that I thought was really cute. And honestly, I think this might be the look I want to go for. So instead of it saying I'm cherry cute, I'm going to have it just say cherry cute. And I can just change this word, the escape word here. It's hard to see because it's white, but when I put, and I swear I spelled that wrong again, it's hard to see. You can change the font or the color if it helps you see it. Like this is a little hard to see, so I'm just going to change the color to like red, and then you can see it better. You can change it back if you don't like it, but I'm going to just change this, and I'm going to change this to say cute. And then I think I'm going to play around with this cherry color because I do kind of like having it colored. But I think like more of a pink that might match the pink that's on our cherries a little bit. So I'm just going to play with the color selector here and find something that's going to look good together. Now I'm just kind of moving this around on the color selector until I find one that I think is close. I'm kind of trying to match maybe like the bow a little bit closer. So I want to go a little higher and just a little, that right there. That's cute. All right. And then I want to change the color of the word cute to the same thing. So I can just select this right here, but I can also just change it to anything that I want it to be as well. So whatever color you want, if you don't want to use a color that's already here, but I think I'm going to use this color. And now that I'm kind of looking at that, I don't think I like it, and that's okay. We can change it. So maybe we want to do a little bit of like a different style color. Maybe we want to go with, maybe we do want to go with white. Maybe we want to go with like, oh, the green's pretty. Let's see how we feel about this green color. I just don't know if it's really going with our style here. I don't know if that cherry is working for me. So now that I've kind of done that, now that I sort of know a little bit more what I want to do, I'm going to go back under elements and I'm going to look for a cherry, and I'm going to see if there's one that maybe might work a little bit better, or it might be a little more in style for what I'm trying to do versus like, that's cute, but that's almost like too cutesy. This is cute too, but I don't think it's quite what I'm going for. So I'm going to scroll through, see if I can find a cherry that maybe is more the style that I want, or maybe I need to change the font. So you're going to play around with this a bunch until you find something that's really hitting for what you want it to look like. The more I look at it, the more I really think it's the font. So again, we can just go back and change it. It's not a big deal. It's very easy to change up anything here that you want to. So we can even look like in titles and see if there's maybe something in here that might work a little bit better for what we want to do. There are so many ways that you can do this, so don't feel like you have to do it exactly, you know, the way that somebody else did it. You have fun with it, do whatever you want to do, and play with it. This Wild Adventures might be kind of cool. So let's take a look at that. So it says Wild Adventures, but instead let's change it to say I'm, and then let's change the adventures to say cherry. Cherry. And see how it kind of like curves? That's fun. I'm going to get rid of this so it's out of our way. I'm going to play with this a little bit. I'm going to move this around. Now you'll notice that I kind of got it a little like messed up. All you have to do is right click, ungroup it, and then you can move the elements of your text by themselves. So I can make this a little bit bigger. So then it says I'm cherry, and then I can kind of move these up. I'm going to copy and paste the word cherry by using Control C and Control V on my keyboard. And then I want the bottom one is going to say cute. Now, I think I want to use a lowercase c, and then see how it's kind of concaving this direction? We can fix that. We can go ahead and go to Edit Transform and see how we've got these little nodules. We can pull these ones down and pull these ones a little bit and maybe like stretch it a little bit up and stretch this one a little bit up. And you just play with these little nodules until you get it the way you want it. And now I've got this really cute design. Now I think I want to edit that C a little bit more. I just want that C to be a little higher. And if you accidentally click off of it, you can just click Edit Transform again. It's fine. But you want to grab that little dot down here, and I'm just going to make that C a little bigger. I think that's pretty cute, actually. That's kind of the look I'm going for. I want it looking a little bit vintage. So I also think maybe I want the cherry under the words, maybe. Let me see if I make this a little bigger, how I feel about the design. I kind of think that's cute. I think maybe I move cute down just a little. And I just have it go over just the edges of our design because I think that's pretty cute. I'm going to move the I'm, and I think I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. I don't want it to be huge, but I think that is really the style that I want to go for. So I'm doing it. I'm going with that. I'm going to select my entire design, and I'm just going to kind of move it on the screen, and I'm going to make it pretty big because I do want it to be pretty large. And it really doesn't matter necessarily how big you make it, but I do like to make them pretty large. And then I'm going to center it just because it bothers me if it's not centered. I'm just going to kind of fix the centering on the design to totally. I don't think it's quite where I want it. Okay. Okay, now that I'm happy with the way that this is all laid out, this was really fun to make here in Kittl and really easy. I'm going to save this as a PNG, but I also want to go under my layers really quickly, and I'm just going to pull this down. And do you see where it's got the background? I want to turn that off because we're going to be printing this with sublimation. It doesn't necessarily matter, but if I ever want to go and use this for something else, like using it with DTF or UV DTF, it needs to have a transparent background. And I find saving my PNGs with transparent backgrounds so much better than doing it with a background. And most people expect that. So if this is something that you want to use for like print on demand and stuff, you're going to need it without. Now, once you're done and you're happy with your design, go ahead and click the download button up here at the top. Now, I'm going to make sure it's got a file type of a PNG. I want to just choose remove background. It doesn't really matter since we took it off, but I always do it just to be safe. And then I want to optimize my quality and click download. It's going to have me save this into my folder, and it's going to save it as a PNG. I'm going to call this CRICUT so that I know what it is, and I'm going to click save. Now I'll open this so you can see what it looks like on our PNG board. Here's what it looks like without that background. So this is what it'll print. There won't be any background for this. Now I'm going to show you how I choose to print them, but you print them however works best for you. But for my computer and the settings that I use, I find that using Inkscape works best. Now over in Inkscape, we can upload our designs in here by either dragging and dropping them or using file import, but I like to drag and drop. Remember, our first one here is our candy hearts, and our second one is CRICUT. So I'm just going to grab both of those and drag them and drop them over into my Inkscape software. Now from here, I don't have to do anything. I can just click OK and click OK again for each of my images. So now I've got two different style images, and that's why I wanted to do this so that you could see the two different ways sublimation is going to work using your Kittl designs. Now in my Inkscape, I need to go to my file and I click document properties. I just want to make sure that my US letter size is selected. Once that's selected, this little square here is the area in which you have to print your design. So I have this CRICUT design, and I want to make sure that I fit it within my paper. Now with Inkscape, you need to hold Control on your keyboard when you resize items, because if you don't, it will change the scale of your artwork, which we don't want to do. Now, if you want to see some measurements, you can go up to the top, and I like to change this to inches so I can see kind of how big it is. Now, it's measuring from the sides of the bounding box, which is kind of annoying, but that's fine. I'm still able to really get a good idea of like how high it is, which is like the main concern. I don't like to go much taller than 10 inches when I create a design for a sublimation shirt. So I'm going to go with this design here at that size. Now it's not going to print this because this is not in our printable area. So we're going to print our I'm CRICUT first. Now, I'm going to show you there are two ways that you can mirror your design, because when you're doing sublimation, you have to mirror your design. You can either use the flip option here in Inkscape, which is at the top with little triangles, and you can flip it. Or when you go to File and you choose Print, we're going to do some settings here. The first thing is we want to make sure we have the correct printer selected. I also will need to turn my printer on before I print, but that's okay. It works fine with it off. Then I'm going to go to Preferences. Now, under your preferences, you're going to do a few setting changes. The first setting change that I do is I change my plain paper. I change it to Premium Presentation Paper Matte. That works really well for sublimation for me. Then you want to change your quality from standard to high. Make sure color is selected. Then we're going to go under our more options. And this is two settings that will change. You want to turn off your high-speed print. That's going to prevent any lines from showing up on your print. And then you want to choose mirror image. That's going to flip that image just like we did in Inkscape, but instead your printer's going to do it. And that's just another option for doing a mirror for your sublimation prints. Then simply click OK and click print to send it over to your printer. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing with our other design. I don't think you need to see that because it's exactly the same. So then we're going to head over to the heat press, get these pressed on our shirts. I can't wait to show you how cute these Kittl designs came out. I have both of our prints here. We also have some butcher paper, which you will need for this project, 2 different polyester shirts, and then we also have heat tape to help hold our design down. I'm using a CRICUT polyester shirt and a Jerseys brand because it's what I have on hand to use, but any 100% polyester fabric or sublimation blank will look perfect for this. When you're doing sublimation, you have to use items that are in fact polyester. So I think on the Jerseys shirt, I'm going to do the I'm Cherry Cute one. And for this, you'll note that when we look at it this way, that it looks correct. You can see it's all the right direction because we mirrored it. Because when you put it on your shirt, you need to put it ink side down or design side down. And just like when you do any other design, it goes about 3 fingers down from your collar. And then you want to center it on your shirt. And I just tend to use my hands to kind of figure out where center is. I'm pretty good at just eyeballing it. Then I want to take some heat tape. And I just put a little bit of tape on each of the corners. That just helps it hold down so that it doesn't get moved when you're moving it to your press or you're pressing it. Now, another really important step when you're doing these shirts is not only do you want a piece of butcher paper on top of your design to help protect your press, but you also want to put a piece in between your shirt and the design here. You want to just put it in between those 2 layers, because if you don't, this design can actually print on to the back of your shirt, and you definitely don't want it to do that. So all I do is just take a little piece of that butcher paper and I get it lined up inside the shirt, and there we go. And then we're going to put one right here on top of our design. Now to move it over to my press, I simply just fold the shirt up over the design, and voila, we're ready to go. Now we're gonna be pressing these shirts at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. I'm gonna get my press heated up, and while that's heating, I'll do the other one because it's done the same way. Now, remember I made it that nice little easy to move package, and it's really easy to figure out where this needs to sit on my pressing pillow as well, because I want to make sure that the seams are off of that pressing pillow. So I just unfold it, and I make sure that it's nice and flat, and then I just double check that my entire design is sitting on the pressing pillow. If I need to adjust it, I can pull it down just a little bit. I just want to make sure everything's on there. Now I'm going to let my press heat up. It's only got about another 80 degrees to go, and then we can get this pressed, and I'll show you what they all look like. The heat press is up to temp, so we're going to be using a medium to firmish pressure to press this, again at 400 degrees for 60 seconds. We're almost ready, so as soon as it beeps, we can go ahead and open up our press. Now, I like to take my design off right away, and I'm going to peel this off, and you should be left with this gorgeous, bright colored design. So I'm going to go ahead, load the other one onto our press, and get that one pressed, and then I'll show you what these look like up close. Are our finished shirts with our designs that we made with Kittl. Now again, remember that you can always use code CORINNEYT to sign up and save 25% with Kittl. This is such a great tool. I think these came out really, really wonderfully. Now I did use a Jerseys brand polyester shirt and a CRICUT brand polyester. Both are 100% polyester, and they came out so good. I'm going to link everything we used to create this down below, including the Kittl link for you to sign up. But you saw how we took a simple template that they already had, changed it up to make it our own, and then we used their elements and their text to create another shirt. These are great to be used for sublimation, but you can also use them for things like DTF prints, printable HTV, and so much more. I'll link the rest of my Kittl videos down below for you as well. As always, have a wonderful day and happy crafting!